Women were told they could have it all: the corner office, the perfect family, the admiration of the world. But what if the pursuit of everything is leaving them with nothing? We celebrated the rise of strong women, told them to lean in, to break ceilings, to lead, and they did. But now, the bill is coming due, and the consequences are kicking in. The story of female empowerment isn't just a personal journey. It might be reshaping the very future of our society, and it's a story we can no longer afford to ignore. For decades, the cultural narrative has been clear and compelling. Society championed the ascent of women into positions of power. We saw it happen in real time. The first female CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, the rise of women in politics, the explosion of female-led startups. This wasn't just a trend, it was a revolution. Schools, parents, and media outlets all pushed the same message. A successful career is the ultimate form of empowerment. Independence was the goal, and leadership was the vehicle. The image of the high-achieving woman, juggling a boardroom meeting and a parent-teacher conference, became the new ideal. This vision of gender equality was about achieving parity in the professional world, proving that women could not only compete, but dominate in fields once exclusively male. Ambition was no longer a quiet hope, it was a celebrated virtue. We applauded women who prioritized their careers, who worked late, who made the tough sacrifices necessary to climb the corporate ladder. This movement was born from a genuine desire for fairness and opportunity, a correction to centuries of imbalance. It opened doors that had been locked for generations and gave millions of women the chance to realize their full potential. But beneath every success story, a quiet struggle is unfolding, a hidden cost that is only now becoming visible. The personal cost of this relentless pursuit is staggering, and it begins inside the human body. When you're running a company, managing a team, or simply trying to outperform your peers, your brain is in a constant state of high alert. This activates the fight-or-flight response, flooding your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. For a short-term crisis, this is a lifesaver. But for the modern female leader, the crisis never ends. The deadline at work is followed by a family emergency, which is followed by financial pressures, which is followed by social obligations. The nervous system never gets the signal to stand down. This chronic stress leads directly to burnout, a state of profound emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. It's more than just feeling tired, it's a deep sense of depletion, a feeling that you have nothing left to give to your job, your family, or even yourself. The modern woman is expected to be a strategic leader from 9 to 5, and a nurturing, emotionally available caregiver from 5 until midnight. She answers emails after putting the kids to bed. She preps for a presentation while making school lunches. She carries the mental load for her household, remembering birthdays, scheduling appointments, managing the family calendar, all while carrying the strategic load for her department at work. This constant context switching is neurologically taxing. The brain isn't designed to be a CEO and a primary caregiver in the same breath day after day. This isn't a failure of the woman. It's a failure of a system that asks one person to be everything to everyone all the time. The question then becomes, what happens when the leader can never truly clock out, even when she walks through her own front door? When this personal cost is multiplied by millions, it stops being a personal issue and becomes a societal one. The consequences are now echoing through our communities. As women have rightfully focused on building careers during their 20s and 30s, traditional timelines for life events have been completely redrawn. Marriage is being delayed or foregone altogether. For the first time in modern history, a growing number of women are reaching their 40s without having had children, some by choice, many by circumstance. The demanding nature of a high-pressure career makes the prospect of starting a family feel like an impossible addition to an already overflowing plate. This has contributed to a sharp decline in fertility rates in developed nations across the world, a demographic shift that will have massive implications for economies and societies in the coming decades. The very structure of the family is changing. With women stepping into high-earning, high-stress roles, we're seeing a form of gender role reversal, where men may step back or take on more domestic responsibilities. While this can be a positive shift toward a more balanced partnership, it also creates new, unfamiliar tensions. The decline of the nuclear family isn't just a statistic. It represents a fundamental change in how we form bonds, build communities, and raise the next generation. Empowerment gave women the freedom to choose their own path, but we are now forced to ask a difficult question. At what cost to connection, to partnership, and to the very fabric of society? This brings us to the central paradox of modern female leadership. The very traits that allow women to succeed in the professional world, ambition, independence, and a relentless drive, can sometimes be the same traits that create barriers in their personal lives. There is a paradox between power and peace. The pursuit of power is demanding and all-consuming, leaving little room for the stillness and presence required for deep, meaningful relationships. A leader is trained to be in control, to solve problems, and to direct outcomes. But intimacy requires vulnerability, surrender, and the ability to let go of control. It's hard to switch from being the one with all the answers at work to being a partner who can simply listen and be present at home. There is also a paradox between independence and loneliness. The celebration of the strong, independent woman has been a powerful motivator, but it can inadvertently send the message that needing someone is a sign of weakness. True independence is a virtue, but hyper-independence can lead to isolation. Many high-achieving women report feeling profoundly lonely, surrounded by colleagues who see them as a boss and friends who don't understand the pressures they face. They have the freedom to do anything they want, but often find themselves with no one to share it with. This isn't a flaw in women, it's a flaw in the definition of success we've created. We've equated success with a traditionally masculine model of relentless, individualistic achievement, forgetting that human beings, regardless of gender, are wired for connection. Could it be that the progress we've celebrated has been a silent trade-off, swapping one set of limitations for another? So, where do we go from here? The answer is not to turn back the clock or suggest that women should abandon their ambitions. Leadership is not the problem. Ambition is not the enemy. The problem lies in the unspoken all-or-nothing contract that society has offered women. Lead, but sacrifice your well-being. Succeed, but risk your personal connections. The first step toward a solution is acknowledging the trade-offs. We must be honest about the consequences of our choices, both as individuals and as a society. For women, this means consciously defining what success looks like for them, not what culture dictates it should be. It means understanding that there is a difference between a fulfilling career and a life consumed by work. True gender equality isn't about women adopting the high-stress, burnout-inducing work styles of the past. It's about creating a new system where both men and women can lead productive, ambitious lives without sacrificing their health, their families, and their peace of mind. This requires setting boundaries. It means learning to delegate, not just at the office, but at home. It means recognizing that you cannot pour from an empty cup. It requires a shift in mindset, from doing it all to doing what matters. Leadership is powerful, but sometimes letting go, resting, or sharing the load is the strongest leadership of all. It is a credit to skill, resiliency, and a battle for fairness that women have been rising to positions of leadership during this historic period. However, there are also lessons that we omit from history at our own cost. Despite the fact that we have urged ladies to take their place at the table, we have not yet inquired as to whether or not the table itself is suitable for anyone to sit at for an extended period of time. Now, we find ourselves at a crossroads, where we are compelled to face the unforeseen repercussions of a revolution that we were the driving force behind. Consequently, I will leave you with this question for you to think about. What are your thoughts on the matter? Accomplish you believe that true empowerment is having the ability to accomplish everything? Or does it involve having the insight to know what to carry and the strength to know when to let go?